All right, folks. We got less than an hour before game time tonight. Week 3 of the preseason, hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. So, what are we looking for tonight? What are we hoping to see tonight? Well, to answer that, we need to talk about what we saw last week. I didn't make a post-game video for the Vikings game because my voice sounded terrible all week. I didn't want to make a video sounding like that. So let's pound it out real quick. What are the things that you liked to see in that Minnesota game? Well, number one, the first-team offense scored a couple times. They drove down the field. They made plays. Doug Baldwin caught several passes. Kasen Williams continues to show out, and you have to be optimistic about his chances of making the roster at this point. Unlike the preseason 2 years ago where we saw all the troubling signs about our offense, and then those troubling signs ended up carrying through the regular season for a good part of it, we're actually seeing the offense move the ball this preseason, so that's good. What else do you like? Blair Walsh. Blair Walsh played really good. He missed one 50-plus yard field goal because the snap was bad. Other than that, he was knocking through 50-yarders. He was getting a lot of leg into those kicks. He was hitting them right down the middle. It seems like our kicker spot is secure for the moment. And that is not a thing I felt confident about going into this season, so that's good. Offensive line, for the most part, played pretty well. It seems like we have a pretty good foundation with our interior offensive line this year. Britt, Yokel, and Glowinski, those guys seem like they might be able to bring it this year and give us a good interior offensive line. Let's see. Chris Carson made a couple plays. I don't know if he's going to make the team, but it seems like he has a real chance to do it now. So that's good. Defensively, Shaquille Griffin, he's getting put through the fire a little bit, but that's good for him. It's good for him to get picked on right now. But he made a couple plays, but for the most part, he's getting beat up, which kind of sort of needs to happen right now. Nobody should be surprised by that. We forced a couple turnovers in the game on last Friday, which you got to like because this team stopped forcing turnovers last year, and it was brutal. And those are most of the good things I saw. Negatives to take away from that game on the field in terms of play. Affetti still a little shaky. Odiombo definitely shaky at left tackle, and we'll get back to why that's a big deal in a minute here. Alex Collins, bye-bye, get off the team. Good luck somewhere else, but this is a crowded backfield, and you don't give us anything that's interesting to us right now. Let's see here. Run defense, I'm not going to sweat that. KJ Wright was not playing. Dalvin Cook is going to be really good this year, I think, as well. Dalvin Cook's legit, but yeah, we got beat up a little bit in the run game. The quarterback pressure could have been better, but again, no KJ Wright. I don't think Frank Clark played either. Some of the guys who did play didn't play that much. I'm not going to sweat any of that crap. The number one thing, though, and if you watch this game, if you're a Seahawks fan, you already know, George Fant's ligaments got blown up all over the turf. This is a big one, people. This is not even just a one-year injury. This could be a 2-year injury. We may not be seeing George Fant play football again for 2 years after that shit. Just a really unlucky situation he found himself in. His leg kind of got trapped in a bad spot, and Justin Britt fell back into him, and basically his leg blew up. That's the way it goes sometimes, but it sucks right now because he was a guy who came out of nowhere last year. Nobody was expecting him to play last year, I think, but he got out there and he didn't really play good, but he was showing stuff and he was getting better, and I was optimistic about him being at least passable this season. So now, so much for that. His development has been stunted. his Cinderella story is halted for at least a year, probably two, in my opinion. And who knows, it could end his career effectively. 2 years from now, things are going to be completely different. We might draft a left tackle in the draft, and George Fant's going to go, kick around the league, probably never really find much of a foothold. And you feel for him, you feel for the team, you feel for the quarterback who now looked like he was going to get a competent left tackle this year, and now maybe not because, like I said, our interior offensive line looks good, but these tackles, man, Ifedi struggled against the Vikings again, and Odiombo, when he got in there, I'm not going to kill him because, well, he probably wasn't expecting to play as early as he did, and I think he was honestly kind of expecting to play guard this year if he did play, so I don't know, but he didn't look great. We might really need to see something quickly from Ethan Posick because he might get to play a lot more than expected. I'd like to see him at left tackle tonight because that needs to be an option that we consider if Odiombo looks as bad as he looked at some points on Sunday. So it's the same shit with this team as it has been the last couple of years. Offensive line drags down everything that you want to be happy about with these guys. We got a great quarterback. We have good wide receivers. We have good skill position offensive players. You love the defense. Special teams, hopefully it's better this year. The last couple of years it dropped off. But that offensive line, man, it's improving, but it's still got big weaknesses at important spots. So I want to see some growth tonight on that offensive line tonight for sure. I wish I could focus on other things. I wish I could focus on the running back battle. I wish I could be thinking about, defensive tackle depth, Nazir Jones. I wish I could be thinking about those guys. The secondary depth, cornerback depth. Who's the number 2 going to be? Who's the number 3 going to be? Who's the number 4 going to be? How is that depth situation going to shake out? And I'm going to be watching all that stuff. That stuff matters. But unfortunately tonight, the number one thing going through my head will be, can somebody please protect Russell Wilson's blind side? Other than that, Eddie Lacy, he's going to get a lot of carries tonight because we've got no Thomas Rawls, we've got no CJ Procise. Actually, we also have no Tyler Lockett, so the offense is a little shorthanded. Eddie Lacy needs to show that he deserves to be the one running back on this team who's making guaranteed money because right now, it seems like I've said before, we might have 5 running backs who look better than Eddie Lacy right now, and Eddie Lacy's the one guy who kind of has to be on the team, so yeah. Want to see at least dependable short yardage from Eddie Lacy because I'm fine with a running back platoon, but Lacy's got to do something right. And of course, especially after last week, no injuries. Just I will take that because it might not seem like a big deal to some people because I'm the first guy to admit it. George Fant, not a good player. Not yet. He's not even average, I don't think. I wouldn't consider him even average, but whatever you think about George Fant, he was the best we had. And now we're looking at somebody who we probably didn't even want to play this year, having to play at left tackle. And that doesn't even get into the Ifedi situation, which now seems almost secondary in comparison. So yeah, gonna be a good time tonight. Might see the starters for 2.5, maybe even 3/4. I don't know. We're gonna learn something about the way the depth chart on this team is gonna shake up. Guys like Chris Carson, Kason Williams, Nazir Jones, they can do a lot for their cases to be on this roster, but I wish I could say I could focus on all that fully right now, but there's no way you can. All right, see you guys after the game.